It's early in the morning, so excuse my morning face. I just wanted to share my morning and how I was feeling, and thought I'd give words of encouragement to anybody out there who's just not having such a great day.
Oh, I feel amazing, alive, and I got it. Light a couple more, pick me up some hydroponic. All the other things out of came from empty pockets. Got it right now, I feel alive, and I got it.
Hey guys, it's like 7:30 in the morning, and I felt like I want to get a little real with you guys this morning. It's crazy because think of my video yesterday. I said, you know what, I'm gonna talk about mental health in my next video because, as I said in my last one, it's very important and it's something that we should talk about. And it's weird because I woke up this morning in such a cloudy mood, and it could have something to do with the weather, but I was like, you know what, this is the point that I'm gonna talk about it. So excuse my morning voice and my morning face, and you know, it's early, but I figured I'll talk about this before I go do like maybe some yoga or working out to kind of give a little balance to my morning, to my day. You know, and feeling this way, it could just be because yesterday I was extremely exhausted. But it's weird because you have to keep in mind these things when you feel a little just out of it. It could be something small, it could be the start of something big, but you have to be aware and you just have to know. So I'll tell you guys a little background on my story. I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression maybe back in 2010, 2011. Now looking back, I definitely dealt with it before that, but that was when I decided to go and talk to somebody. I just gotten back from a deployment. I wasn't adjusting very well. I was crying. I was like isolating myself, and life was just overwhelming. That's when I was officially diagnosed, and even then I didn't really understand it. And I was like, no medication. I was doing little workbooks and little cognitive behavior therapy. It seemed to keep things at bay, but that's when I was in the Air Force. And when I got out in 2012, things were okay. But over time, just adjusting to living a civilian life, I've been living that life, the military life, since I was 18, so I didn't know anything different. And just trying to adjust to that, I think, was really hard. I had been dealing with relationship issues at the time, financial issues, and it was just a lot. I think I was good at masking it and things for a while, and it was crazy because when my life became better was when I went through my major episode. But I think that I piled too much on myself at one time. Like, I moved from LA to New York, and New York is a fast city, man. It's a beast, it's a monster. So I was going to school there, I was taking the train, navigating the city. I got my certification as an audio engineer. I had things going for myself, and out of nowhere, like, I just went down, like, man down for real. I was crying. I couldn't get a grasp on life. I couldn't understand how I was feeling. I lost interest in everything. I didn't want to move. I was afraid. I was fearful to go outside. And I think that it was a combination of things. It was a combination of constantly being stressed. It was a combination of watching the news. I was just so much going on at that time, and I think that I was just overwhelmed, and a lot of that had to do with the chemical balance in your brain. Obviously, we know about like serotonin, cortisol, and things like that. I went through that for a long time, couple weeks, maybe I would say about 3 months, and then my fiance was like, you need help. You need to go talk to somebody. And I did, and they offered me medicine, and this time was different because I was bad, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna take it. but I only want to be on it for a short amount of time. I told myself, you know, after a few months, once you start to feel better, that you will find another way. I didn't want to become dependent on medicine. Some of the side effects I was getting upset stomach, I was getting heart palpitations, and it really wasn't working that well for me. I actually had to switch medicines, and I went on Ambien for sleep. So fast forward a little bit, I said I'm gonna find a different way, and in May 2015 I was like, okay, I'm done with antidepressants. I started using essential oils. Herbs, tea, doing yoga, just balance for me. For me, it was really about balance and keeping my stress at bay, letting go of certain things that affected me as a child. Those things are important. At least it was in my situation, and I do think in some situations that could have a lot of things to do with it. It was a mindset that I had, especially for me being in the military. It wasn't good for my psyche. I felt unworthy, unwanted. I felt at some point I have nothing to live for. It was kind of a suicidal ideation. I didn't feel like I would take my life, but I felt like, what's the point of it all? Everything was a question. I had no answers. Everything led to a question, and it was just the hardest battle of my life. And it's crazy because I was in the military. I was trained to go to war. I was trained to protect myself from sexual assault, from an active shooter, but I didn't know how to protect myself from myself. I was battling myself, and I had no clue how to win. It's the most mind-boggling thing, and it's crazy because, you know, people would, tell you how people have it so much worse than you do, to be tough, to suck it up, especially the older generations, because they didn't talk about mental health. I'm like, no, this is my problem. This is my issue. I can't ignore my problems and my issues because someone has it worse than me. Yo, like, you guys don't ever do that. If you have an issue, if you're feeling a certain way, whatever your issues and your problems are, if they're from your past, if there's things you need to let go, if there's extra baggage weighing you down, if you just aren't feeling it, if you're not feeling good about yourself, if you're not feeling good about life, angry, sad, whatever the case may be, address it, no matter how big or small it is, because those are your issues. Those are your issues, and you must take care of yourself because nobody's going to do it for you. I'm very passionate about that. It has been an amazing, amazing journey and transformation to just understand me and understand my mind and understand what my triggers are, how I feel. I'm highly sensitive to outside noise, to stimulation, to the news. That stuff has an effect on you, especially because we're constantly force-fed this information. We're constantly force-fed all the bad things that go on in the world, and you lose sight of the good things that you do have. And it's kind of like your brain doesn't receive that good feeling anymore, and it kind of gets stuck in this cycle of danger, of fear, and it's hard to get out of that by yourself sometimes, and you need support. So if you're dealing with it and you find yourself not being able to come out of it, don't be afraid. Talk to somebody. Get help. Get help. It's important. Some people can deal with it on their own. Some people just go through episodes, losing a loved one, and you do need to grieve. If you are having a hard time today, if you're going through a funk, if you are in a bad mood, depressed, you're feeling fearful of the world, trust me, you are not alone. There's so many people out there that understand what you feel, so don't be afraid, don't be ashamed. Let's talk about it. Let's address it. Let's help one another. because it's not gonna get any better until we start talking about it. To be honest with you, the stigma sucks. Like, if you aren't feeling yourself, if something's unbalanced in the brain, it's no different than any other injury or illness that you're dealing with, and yet we treat it like it's totally different. If you lost a loved one, if you are just depressed because of postpartum, things like that, like, you should just suck it up and just go out into the world and add more things to your plate. You wouldn't do that if you had the flu. It's no different, and I don't know why people treat it differently than people who have other illnesses. Like, with any set of challenges, with any illness, whether it be mental, whether it be an immune system issue, like, it's no different. And you learn to cope, and you learn to treat it, and you learn to deal. I think that it's important that people aren't afraid to go out and get help, to recognize and to admit that they're dealing with some kind of anxiety, depression, bipolar, schizophrenia. I think that it's important that people are able to go get help, are able to admit when they're dealing with their issues, because I mean, they're not gonna just go away. They're not gonna go away. You can't run from them. They are there. Whatever's haunting you, whatever you have to let go, whatever chemical imbalance you're dealing with, whatever life changes you're dealing with, whatever it is, it's not gonna go away, and you have to address it. You can't keep piling things on your plate. Being cognitive and aware of what you put in your body. And I'm talking food, I'm talking what do you consume mentally. Too much news, too much negativity, too many negative people around your life. Like, life and everything in it is energy. It's energy. So make sure you're treating your body right, you're treating your mind right, because those things help. Those things help. Those things help balance you out. Those things help you when you're having a bad day. Surround yourself around positivity, around goodness, around love. And although they won't solve your problems for you, they are tools to help you. There are tools, there are people that are willing to help, that are willing to listen. So yeah, man, take control of your health, take control of your life. Mental health is something that we need to talk about, because the world doesn't seem like it's getting any better. And we have to band together to keep each other mentally sound and on track. Alright, so yeah, I thought I'd just share a little bit of my morning with you guys. About to go get some exercise in, and I'm actually feeling a little better talking, so thank you for listening, thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you guys next time. And so until next time, stay true, love you, do you, peace.